Obviously, these young ladies work in the area of pulling other people up, because we're talking about leaving no woman behind. Yeah. Really, what do you think about the work that they're doing?
I think they're doing
because it's probably come from where we are coming, you know.
Yes, I think they're doing absolutely amazing things. I'm so proud of both of you.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you, Ma.
One of the key lessons in the feminist movement is solidarity, being each other's keeper, being your sister's keeper. And that's exactly what you're demonstrating in the work that you're doing. You've gone through certain processes yourselves, and you're sharing your own lessons and your experiences with others to make sure that they have an opportunity and they can do better in life. Well done.
Thank you, Ma.
So what brings us to
what also inspiring.
So what are the things that bother your mind that you think, because that's the reason I invited you here. Let's go ahead and shoot.
Actually, while I was growing up, I had been battling with low self-esteem from the age of 7. It was, I remember while growing up, I had a younger sister.
Sorry, darling, it's unbelievable that this lady battled with you. Look at how gorgeous she looks.
Oh my God. Thank you. It was really bad. I thought my nails were very ugly. I would always, you know, do this. I told people that I was Igbo, thinking that the Igbos were better than the Yoruba, forgetting that my name was Tokumbo. You know, I was actually, you know, I was so, I had issues. I had a sister that we happened to be in the same class. They gave her double promotion. She had first position, and we landed in the same class, and guess what? She got to class and started
passing you.
Of course, I was like 13th position, 18th position. So you can imagine. And then people will come to my house and say, oh my God, she's so pretty. That's my younger sister. Oh, she's so pretty. She should, you know, she's going to win Miss Nigeria in future and all that. And I'm there and I'm looking at them and nobody's saying anything about me. And, you know, it just gave me the impression that I'm very ugly, you know, aside the fact that she was doing better than me academically and all that, so I kind of withdrew.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you have a part in your book that addresses this kind of issue.
I believe I do, yes.
Yeah, and then I started having issues. She got into the university before me, of course. You know, she passed the common entrance. It's a long story, actually. And in fact, I'm writing a book on that already. The Persistent Woman, Overcoming Over 20 Years of Rejection. It should be out in November.
So your question is, are you not rejecting yourself or rejecting you?
No, I felt rejected. I was bullied by my classmates. I was bullied by boys. You know, it was a horrible time. People came to my parents because I couldn't get into school on time. People were telling them I could never amount to anything in life. You know, you can imagine. At some point, I even considered suicide. And, but guess what happened? I got to camp, the NYC camp, and I met a young lady. A young lady. We happened to just be in the same platoon. And, you know, I was telling her my sad stories. I was filled up with so much negativity and all that. And, you know, she would say, Tokumbo, shut up. You have so much greatness in you. What are you saying? You know, and I'm like, who is this girl? What's she saying? And guess what? I hung with her for 3 weeks in camp. And so my life changed.
What this tells me is that it depends on the kind of things that you feed yourself.
Yes.
Yes, and the things that are fed to us. Because we are not the only ones bringing ourselves up. Other people are bringing us up. The same way in which when you bring up a child, you are not the only one bringing up your child. Other people, other influences are bringing your child up as well. When we had our one-on-one earlier, I was talking about how women are socialized into whispering throughout their lives, into feeling that they're never enough, into feeling that there's only so much space they can occupy. And that sounds like something that you went through as well. Low self-esteem is very common with women of all ages. And so what we are trying to do is to ensure that young girls get on the right road as soon as possible.
In fact,
because if you are being fed negative things right from an early age, if you are being told you can't, you shouldn't, you know, you're the girl, you're the woman, you can't do this, you can't do that.
You have no say, you're a woman.
I heard a lot of that. See yourself as a leader.
Okay, I mean, but how did you manage to be a leader, you yourself? Because you are a leader.
Yeah, from experiences. You know, people always look up to people that have shared similar things with them. And I've tried as much as I can to use platforms like social media, because social media is our thing. So I've tried to
claiming that space with you.
well, but we are like the hierarchy. So I try as much as I can to use social media, my Instagram, to engage as many young people as possible. Every time I get to share a story about myself, it could be about me repeating a class, about me being bullied, about me being sexually harassed. Somebody out there always have a relatable story. Exactly. Somebody's like, oh my God, you're just talking about me. Oh my God, I can see you in me. Stop. Every time I wear something nice, and there's always this other person saying, how come you're big, you're plus size, and you look this nice? Because,
so you're inspiring others.
Yes.
That's it. But you know, you did say something about the portion of this.
Oh yeah, so I was reading this book, and I got to Our Girls Now Wear Spanks to school. So I have a question, but I'll just read a little part of the section of the book before I get to it. Our girls now wear Spanks to school. Not one, but two, even 3 pairs of Spanks. It is not that they are fat, their tummies are still flat. Chinua Achebe told us that ever since men learned to shoot without missing, Eneke the bird learned how to fly without perching. Ever since the boys learned how to use scissors to cut their skirts and carry out a sickening annual ritual, our girls have learned how to wear Spanks to school. The boys tread about, chests out and voices loud, clapping, cheering, jeering. Rape is now a sport. Rape is now a joke, something they look forward to, something they plan, something the girls expect, something the girls have learned to dread. So they wear Spanks to school.
I have to stop you, because you know the truth is we're going to give out copies of this book. So if you are quick enough to answer this simple question, which I'm going to scroll, let me say quickly, when was AWDF founded? Go and find it. If you do, you get, we have 3 copies of this book to give away. But I'll let you quickly flash a question to her and I'll round up the show.
So I remember when I was in school, and literally everywhere I go to, I'm such a hugger. I like to hug people. I'm a touchy person, but I'm also conscious about it. And I think that so many young people, young females, are not conscious about it. I feel like if you want to hug me, you should actually let me know. Or,
so what is your question?
So my question is, don't you think that girls are also part of the reasons why, I'm not saying reasons why the men deem it fit to come close to raping them by their actions? No, I'm not blaming the girls, but I'm saying...
But they can bring it on.
Yeah, but they can bring it on, because I realize that most times, you see guys, they just throw themselves, hey you, and you just give in immediately, and you have like no consciousness and principles about how to...
I have just 1 minute left.
Okay. Well, I think under no circumstances should we blame the victims.
Absolutely.
Women and girls should not be held responsible for assaults on their persons. But we need to bring up our daughters, though, for them to understand boundaries, for them to teach them how to protect themselves. The fact that you've hugged a boy or you've hugged a man doesn't mean that you are inviting them to take advantage of you. But considering the society in which we live in now, considering all the things that are happening, maybe we need to pay a bit more attention to how young girls try and protect themselves a bit more. But under no circumstances should we start blaming women or girls for what they're wearing, what they're doing, how they were sitting, what time of the night they were going about, and so on. Women should be able to claim space as women.
I must thank you all for coming. It's always never enough time. But one thing is clear, that for us to press for progress, women must have a voice. Speak above the whispers. And inspire other women, pull them up along wherever it is you're going.
Especially with what I've gone through, I've been able to reach out to other people. I see a lot of them passing through the same thing I went through.
So never really pass. And if it makes you feel, sorry, if it makes you feel any better, I think I speak, for all of us, and I say, if you see us at this age, don't think we haven't gone through a lot of the things that you went through. Yes, I grew up with a lot of self-esteem because of my father, but I was bullied in school as well. I write with my left hand. I was called for many years, and I went to boarding school. Can you imagine what boarding school was like in those days? So we all went through that.
Thank you. There is always a journey. We all pass that journey. But when we get to some point in the journey, look for people behind you, which is why we say, leave no woman behind. Male or female. We'll see you again next week. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.